Hello, welcome to the Tea Party Hardy channel. So, the majority of the new cootie cases in New York were the people who stayed at home. Which tells you, if it's the majority of the people who died are the ones who stayed at home, well then that means that the lockdown was the greater killer. Because that's what majority means. That's what greater than means. The greater killer wasn't the cootie. I'm sorry. It was the staying at home. Sweden, land of the free, home of the brave. New York, neither. And they died for it. And they died for it. And shocker to no one, 96% also have underlying health conditions according to the data. Really? And guess who those 4% are that didn't have underlying health conditions? The elderly. Another non-shocker. What was the shocker was how insanely hard it was to find this article. While I was able to hear on several of the news channels Cuomo stating the quote that it was the people that died who stayed at home. Holy mackerel, putting it into a search engine? It took me 3 days to find. Okay. And it was on MarketWatch where I found it. Thank you, MarketWatch. They are not the frontline workers. They are not riding the New York City subways. They aren't stuck in jails or homeless shelters or other congregate facilities where the cootie could spread easily. No. The vast majority of New Yorkers still walking into hospitals with the cootie have been sheltering at home and avoiding mass transit, and let me add this, mass sunshine. Very few were even traveling on foot, see, mass sunshine, or in their own cars on a daily basis where sunshine comes in. Are you saying sunshine kills this? I'm saying it seems suspicious that all the states that let you walk around and come out and play, they didn't have this problem. The only states that did were the ones that said, get in there and don't come out. And after all, Florida and Georgia opened up 2 weeks ago. That's time enough to create the gigantic comeback of the cootie. I don't want you to get the wrong idea. The cootie is not a scam. How we're dealing with it now is the scam. Remember? Oh, we're only going to lock down for 15 days. 2 months ago. Oh, we're only going to do it to flatten the curve so that we don't override our hospitals. Now it's, we don't want anybody to get it. And can we please stop using cases as an example? Everybody knows cases means nothing. Over 80% of the people who get it never know they have it. Cases don't matter. What matters is hospitalizations and deaths. And as we can clearly see, 96% also have underlying health issues. And the 4% that don't are the elderly. We've known this from the very beginning, and they keep the lockdowns going in the blue states, in the blue states. Power, power, everlasting power. The vast majority of New Yorkers walking into the hospital. Didn't I just do all this? No, I don't know if I did. No, because, yeah. Let's get down to the numbers. We were thinking that maybe we were going to find a higher percentage of essential employers were getting sick because they were going to work. This maybe was nurses, doctors, transit workers, and that's not the case, Cuomo said. Some 83% of new patients are out of work or retired and aren't even leaving their home on a daily basis. No sunshine for them. Plenty of cootie. This is a surprise. Overwhelmingly, the people were at home, he added, and yet look how freaking hard it was to find on an internet search. Cuomo announced over the weekend that hospitals would start collecting additional data about the incoming cootie patients, the number of which has declined, but not as steeply as hoped. Oh, it has everywhere else. It has everywhere else. And in fact, this article's a few days ago. As of today, they are now back to the numbers when they called into the lockdown. They're back down to March numbers. The curve is flattened. It's beyond flattened in the country. It actually is arcing down with these bizarre roller coasters in between. It's weird. Take a look at the stats. Okay, let's see. Healthcare facilities statewide confirmed the 600 new Cootie patients on Tuesday, down from the more than 3,000 daily. There's a chance this thing has had its fun in the sun and burned out. We can only hope. All right. But again, Florida and Georgia, already 2 weeks ago, and where are they? And all those kids that were humiliated for playing in the sun on spring break, did they infect older people? Because guess what? None of them died. We'd have heard about it. None of them died, or we would have heard about it, because you know the news would have tracked them down. No, because they were in the sunshine. Why you keep saying sunshine? I'm just saying, take a look at the stats, people. Numbers equal something. Causation isn't causation. I did that wrong. Correlation isn't causation, but sometimes it is. But sometimes it is. We thought, let's see, on top of that, only 4% of the newly infected said they took public transportation on a daily basis. Well, that's good news. That means 96% of the people taking public transportation are fine. Where's the homeless thing now? There it is. But that largely wasn't the case of the 12,700 patients surveyed. 18% were from nursing homes. That's the elderly across New York State. 4% from assisted living facilities. That's underlying conditions. And 2% were homeless. And less than 1% were from prisons or jails. But we still let all those prisoners go for that 1%, didn't we? Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Nationwide, we let out the prisoners for 1% of the death. How many died from fights and all these other things? Prison ain't supposed to be cozy. Oh, but it shouldn't be a death sentence from a cootie. It wasn't. It wasn't. 2% were homeless. 98% of homeless, and you've got to imagine they have underlying conditions, are surviving this. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. I'm just saying, there's something going on here when you have 98% of homeless people surviving. You don't think that's... okay, whatever. Someday we'll look back on all this and go, dang, that's what it was? Didn't see that coming. Okay. That's all I got to say about that. I just wanted to point out that the homeless people aren't dying. At 2%. Prisoners weren't dying. We let them go. A 1% kill rate? How many are going to die from the freaking cold at 1%? I mean, 1% is teeny, weeny, weeny, weeny. And we let them go. And we let them go. We are making bad choices in this world. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the future.